In this video, we're going to walk through a short estimating exercise that focuses on something far more important than just math: how estimators think, what they assume, and how small decisions move the final number. I'll ask each question first. I recommend pausing the video, working it out yourself, and then coming back for the explanation. Scenario: residential deck estimate. You are preparing an estimate for a small residential deck project using limited early-stage information as follows. Labor: 2 carpenters, 8 hours each. Labor rate: $30 per hour. Materials: lump sum allowance, $2,500. Equipment, rental cost, $150. Part 1, Estimate Classification. Question 1. Based on the information provided, how would you classify this estimate? Explanation. This estimate is best classified as a conceptual estimate. Why? Because it's built using allowances, simplified labor assumptions, and no detailed quantity takeoff or productivity analysis. At this stage, accuracy comes from judgment, not precision. Part 2, Estimator Assumptions, Log. Question 2. Identify 3 key assumptions embedded in this estimate. Explanation. Good estimators don't just price numbers, they identify assumptions. Some key ones here include: the materials allowance is complete and includes fasteners and waste. No demolition or removal is required. Productivity is normal, with no rework. Each of these carries risk, especially productivity, which is one of the most sensitive variables in estimating. Part 3, Labor Cost Adjustment for FICA. Question 3, adjust the labor cost by adding 7.65% FICA, which represents the employer's required federal payroll contribution for Social Security and Medicare. Explanation. We start with labor hours. For labor, we assume 2 carpenters, 8 hours each, labor rate $30 per hour. Now apply FICA. 7.65% times $480 equals $36.72. So adjusted labor becomes $516.72. This step reminds us that labor burden matters. Wages are never the full labor cost. Part 4. Calculate the total direct costs. Explanation. Direct costs include: materials equals $2,500. Labor, including FICA, equals $516.72. Equipment equals $150. Total direct costs equals $2,500 plus $516.72 plus $150, which equals $3,166. Everything beyond this point is about risk, overhead, and return. Part 5. Indirect costs and markups. Question 5. Apply contingency, overhead, and profit, each at 10% sequentially. Explanation. Markups are applied on top of each other, not all at once. After contingency, we have $3,483. After overhead, we have $3,831. After profit, we have $4,214. This is your baseline project price without a CM fee. Part 6. Sensitivity check. Question 6. Assume labor productivity decreases by 20%. What happens to the final cost? Explanation. A 20% productivity drop does not mean 20% more hours. It means the same output takes 25% more time. Hours equals 16 divided by 0.80 equals 20 hours. Base labor equals 20 times $30 equals $600. FICA equals 0.0765 times 600 equals 45.90. Adjusted labor equals 645.90. New direct cost equals 2,500 plus 645.90 plus 150 equals 3,295.90. Apply the same markup sequentially. Add 10% for contingency. Add 10% for overhead. Add 10% for profit. 3,988 times 1.10 equals 4,886. New final cost equals 4,886. Difference versus baseline equals 4,386 minus 4,214 equals $171. Part 7. Construction Management, Fee, Judgment. Question 7A. When is a CM fee justified for a project like this, and when is it not? Explanation. CM fees are justified when real coordination, scheduling, and oversight are provided. They're not justified when management effort is already embedded in overhead or the job is extremely simple. Question 7B. Now calculate a 15% CM fee applied before profit. Explanation. We apply the CM fee to the cost before profit. Base for CM fee equals direct cost plus contingency plus overhead equals value before profit from question 5 equals 3,831.73. CM fee equals $574.76. New subtotal equals 4,406.49. Profit at 10% equals 440.65. Final project cost becomes $4,047.14. This shows how fee structure, not just percentages, affects price. Part 8. Cost ownership mapping. Question 8. Who owns each of these cost risks? Explanation. There's no single perfect answer here. What matters is the logic behind the assignment. Labor productivity is typically owned by the foreman or superintendent, with the project manager playing a secondary role. Material overruns usually fall under the project manager or procurement, although the estimator may share responsibility if the scope was poorly defined. Equipment extensions are most often the responsibility of the superintendent, with support from the project manager. Contingency usage is generally owned by the project manager, but it typically requires owner or leadership approval, and the estimator is responsible for setting the contingency level in the first place. The key takeaway is that estimating is not isolated. It directly connects to execution, responsibility, and accountability. Part 9. Post-construction reality check. Question 9. Actual labor was 22 hours, not 16. What went wrong, and how do you fix it next time? Explanation. This gap points to several likely issues: over-optimistic productivity assumptions, missing scope complexity, or access and sequencing constraints that weren't fully considered up front. Good estimators close the loop by comparing estimated hours to actual hours after the job is complete, identifying exactly why the variance occurred, and then updating their future assumptions, whether that means adjusting productivity factors, refining scope definitions, or adding explicit allowances for access, inspections, or rework. Estimating improves not by guessing better, but by learning systematically from completed work. Final reflection. Question 10. What should an estimator take away from this exercise? Strong estimates don't come from perfect math, they come from disciplined thinking. They are built on clearly documented assumptions, an understanding of which variables actually move the number, and the use of simple scenario testing to explore risk before it shows up in the field. Most importantly, strong estimators use post-job feedback to refine their judgment over time. Estimating is not just calculating costs. It is a professional decision-making skill that improves with structure, reflection, and experience.